Welcome home. We are WNST, AM 1570, Towson, Baltimore. Baltimore Positive. We are positively. I'm fighting through my lottery tickets, ups and downs and ins and outs. We have Raven scratch-offs to give away. We're here at Pizza John's. I turned the camera around because my neck got all cranked up the other day at Coco's. I'm going to have great guests today, and we're going to begin the show, hopefully, with a very, very high level of energy. The great Bill Cole is here from Cole Roofing and Gordian Energy. And Todd Schuler, damn lawyer, give me the
damn good lawyer.
Damn good lawyer. Blondell Miller Schuler. We are in the heart of Essex, and yet they let Dundalk guys over. We're going to honor the late, great Craig Heist because we're near Kenwood High School and around the corner from Chesapeake and the mighty Bayhawks. Do you guys think of Essex and Dundalk as the same thing? Because, you neither of you are from Essex and Dundalk, but you seem to like to come and visit with me when I'm in Essex. And Todd, for your case, you signed up to be a part of a major Essex business in Blondell Miller Schuler, right on the avenue.
I'm a partisan. I'm an Essex partisan. My law partner is, of course, a Dundalk partisan, as are you. But no, I'm an Essex man.
I mean, I find them to be two distinctly different locations, although very close and adjacent to one another. But there are differences. So, yes, they're different for me. They're different locations.
Well, when my sign was crooked, and this is just me being, funny, my sign was crooked earlier, and I was trying to fix it, and Sharon was here helping me. By the way, the women that work here, I tried to get them on instead of you, and they're two. You hear the orders. There's two. Sharon. Who do I have? Sharon. I have Sue. But all the women that work here, they were trying to come on the show, and they couldn't come on the show today. But I said to them,
probably would have been better content.
Well,
couldn't agree more.
My
Bill.
apron was a little crooked, and I'm like, "Hey, you're in Essex, you ain't in Dundalk. Straighten that out."
Right.
So there's
tighten up.
Tighten
right.
it up. You got to tighten it up when you're in Essex, okay?
Right.
How are you guys doing, man?
Good.
How's life?
Good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything's really fantastic.
You guys have known each other longer than you've known me, correct? Aren't
Yes.
you
Oh,
old?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
How do you guys know each other?
Multiple lives together.
Have I ever
Right.
had you on the show together?
Never.
No.
No,
Wow.
I wasn't actually
knew this was
sure.
a big deal.
I just thought Bill was on during adult hour. I didn't know.
I didn't know that if you put both of us together, whether this would break and just, wouldn't work. I don't know.
I'm just trying to
It's
get your
pretty scary.
microphones at a good level. So
Yeah,
you're not
no,
all
we go up and
breathing on,
down.
eating
We go
on.
up and down.
I'm trying.
Am I? It's the big guy. When you say
It's
eating
like this.
eating the microphone, it's always the
Sound
fat
check.
kid that you're
Sound
going to
check.
blame
Sound
for that.
check.
That's-
I want to dive into a lot of things with you, but first things first. I am in the middle right now, as we speak, about 4.5 hours into a weekend-long, and I'll give Tony Robbins a plug. It's Tony Robbins AI Summit this weekend.
Wow.
So, I've done a lot of things with Robbins. The reason Baltimore Positive exists, if anybody asks me, I did a fire walk with Robbins in 1994, which really begat my whole radio station and my philosophy. Then I got invited to do this Date with Destiny thing that I think you both were a part of my life at that point, about 7-8 years ago, that created Baltimore Positive. The AI thing came to me through Mike Rosenfeld and you, Bill Cole, about 1.5 years ago because Rosenfeld brought it to you. You started tinkering with it before anybody I knew. You and I did a segment maybe 1 year ago about it. It is now a ubiquitous part of everyone's phone in some way that you're getting offered. Even on Meta, anytime you put a Facebook status up, it's saying you want to know more about Todd Schuler, you want to know more about Bill Cole, you want to know more about Pizza John's. It just prompts you into digging deeper, right? Like AI. I'm getting deep into this, and it's I've been in a moving vehicle that had no driver recently.
Oh, you did a Waymo?
I did a Waymo in Phoenix.
Nice.
All
Yeah.
right. So, I have moved to the point where now.
I don't have the courage to do that yet.
What's led you to not want to do it? What's your fear?
I don't know. I don't want to get stuck in it. I could tell you some nasty stories that won't let you ride in it again. It's crazy. We were at the airport, and I didn't know they had them in Phoenix.
You were in Phoenix. Okay, so that's where you got it.
Because I saw them in Austin first.
All right.
So I read about them, and then I didn't know that they were in Phoenix. At the airport, we're standing waiting for an Uber, and it was one after another. There are
they're spinning
thousands
yes.
of these Waymos, and for the most part, we only saw one that didn't do such a hot job.
Hold on, did you think about getting in one, or you just was not even considering
No, well, we would have, but we already had an Uber and we were moving on. But so we thought about doing it in Austin, but it was like a wait list kind of deal, beta test kind of, so we couldn't get one.
Vegas had a different thing. It had a different name.
Yeah.
And it only operated from 10 to 6. Only operated on the Strip. We tried to get on it, and we couldn't. But in Phoenix, we dove in. I mean, we literally
Cool.
we
It's
took
crazy.
the Uber. We stayed at a little hotel right near the airport. So we Ubered over, and then we saw them, 3 of them, like on the way over, a mile apart. And Jen's like, I'm going to download the app. And I'm like, well, I'm not fearful of it. So, like, every old white guy I bring it up with, they're like, oh, new driver. Oh, yeah. And I didn't have that moment with it. I had the moment of, it's got to cost 5 times as much, right? Because it's kind of sexy. It's kind of different. It's cheaper.
Yeah.
It's cheaper. But also, and I didn't learn this, I took it at like 7 in the morning. The next morning, we took it for breakfast. So we're like, let's take it out when there's nobody out. Sunday morning, 7 o'clock. It doesn't go on the highway. Right. So it stays off the main road. So it can take you a little longer. Like if you're going from Towson to Essex in a Waymo, I don't know how it would go. It probably would take like Essex Community College route and come around the backside in some way to like Stemmers Run.
Yeah, Rossville,
Northern
Northern
Parkway, but it would not take
yeah.
695, right? So knowing that, it's a little slower, but it was definitely cheaper. And the minute we got in it, it started talking to us, and I was videoing it. And the first thing I thought is, am I safer getting in this vehicle right now than I would be having an Uber driver of any repute? From 0 to 100 on your Uber experiences, right? To the way they smell, to the way the car is, to like all of that. It was by far, it felt like I was in a limo. It felt sexy. It felt awesome.
It's a Jaguar.
We did it three different times.
Yeah.
It saved us money every time. It took us on an interesting route in Phoenix through this beautiful zoo. It took us to the Phoenix Zoo area in a countryside kind of way, through some cacti. I would highly recommend it, but it planted the seed for me that all of our days of driving are over. Yeah. For those of us worried about our eyes and our vision and night vision who are 57, if God willing, I live long enough to be 80, I'm never going to drive again after my 65th birthday. I mean, this won't. I mean, this is going to happen really,
I try not to drive after dark myself.
Fast. Like, this is going to happen fast. As fast as you told me it was going to happen.
I don't know.
And Rosenfeld,
They're
it's
not
happening
that smart,
fast.
yeah.
I don't know that it's going to go that fast because there's so much.
2 old white guys telling me how things aren't going to
When
go
you
fast.
use Sarah Connor, that's when it gets
Todd's
scary.
going to help a lot here. So if you think of the regulatory lift that states have to adopt to be able to do this. I mean, this technology, those cars, they've been around for 5+ years, and they can only get them rolled out in 4 cities where, there's some sort of lobbying that gets the right senators and to pass a bill that allows a driverless car, and we're not going to let it on the highway or da da da. You know what I mean? So that's what slows it down. The technology, I'm with you. We stood. Think about the exit of the airport. And where all the cars are pulling in to like pick people up, and like
you're watching it.
That disaster, and these things were spotless, moving in and out.
I had a
of
moment
like,
in the first mile. I got in. We took the first one we took was to get Mexican food at my favorite place, other end of the airport, just 2 miles, $10 ride, red lights near the airport. Not a lot of people. We took a turn, and we came up, and people want to screw with these cars.
Yes.
That's what I didn't know.
Yeah.
That douchey drivers will try to get it to react, right? Someone pulled out of a stop sign that made our car deke. And it didn't have any problem with it.
Right.
It slowed down. It identified it in the same way when you back up and your car hits the stop because it won't let you hit the car behind you, right? Literally, someone tried to deke our vehicle without a driver and to freak out the passengers thinking we're going to get hit. This thing's way smarter than the jack wagon that was playing games with it. So we did have that moment where someone came at us, the wrong way,
I was listening to something this morning, and they were talking about so people mess with them, to your point, and like the story is if you take a road cone and you like put it on its hood, it's done. Like it doesn't know what to do with that, right? So people were doing it in San Francisco or whatever. This was early when they first came out. But
An unidentified object.
the
is what you're saying,
company,
right?
the company now has data on the neighborhoods where the people are messing with them.
And it just doesn't go there.
And well, it's not that. That correlates to this lack of adoption of technology, and that data is useful to like all these other people now, right? Because if this whole neighborhood is anti driverless car, what else are they anti? Or what else are they pro? Like what extrapolation from that data can they like? That's the kind of stuff that goes on. So
one of the first things that happened to us when we got in there, it's clean, it's beautiful, it feels like a limo. It feels like my wife and I get frisky in there, we're on camera. But it also felt to me like this is the safest thing in the world because this thing's got cameras going in every direction, everywhere we go. Nobody's effing with these vehicles. That's the way I felt about it. I felt about like if you F with this vehicle, you're on video. You know what I mean? It is a nonstop 24-hour moving video.
in my lawyer friend's world here,
Speak to me.
I can get Spotify to play Fugazi's Waiting Room regardless of what 7-song playlist I put together. It's not that smart. It's getting on my nerves, frankly. I get pissed that AI's in my life. I got mad. I got the CD player.
I want to really let the air out of his balloon here.
I thought you were liberal.
So the number of
what's
people.
That mean anymore?
The number of people who are diving in front of these cars trying to get paid. And then they're like, yeah, but you're an idiot. There's 40 cameras on them. And the company is defending those lawsuits.
All right, so let's fully tell everybody who Todd Schuler is from Blondell Miller Schuler. You're primarily, from the advertising perspective and your billboards here in Essex, you get in the car accident, you want to be the first call.
Correct.
So I am in your lane here talking Waymo and AI, right? Like AI in law is probably at the root of what the problems with AI are going to be, right?
Well, there'll be issues, liability issues will exist. I mean, who's liable? Certainly not a driver.
What did I do dumb getting in the driverless car or smart as a consumer? What are your concerns with me if I'm your son or daughter?
My concern would be that as a consumer, you would have an expectation to be safe having entered this vehicle. And if that expectation was violated, whoever created the damn thing has a duty to you to protect you, and if they breach that,
so if
duty,
I got banged up in that thing, I would have called you or a guy like you in Phoenix.
100%, absolutely.
And how would you look at that? How would you defend or aggressively try to get me as much money? What would you say about that?
Identify whose fault it was, and I'd pursue them. I mean, if somebody owes you a duty of care, right? That's essentially what it is. If I walk in to Pizza John's, I expect to be safe. I don't expect a hidden. I don't expect
banana
a wet,
peel.
soapy floor or a banana peel, right? I expect to be protected. I expect to be kept safe from hazard. Same in a car, right? I expect every other driver on the road owes a duty to the other drivers not to put them in danger. The manufacturer and or, creator of these self-driving cars would be the liable entity as opposed to a driver, I would imagine, at this point, right?
Yeah.
You tell me. You're the lawyer.
I think so.
You're the damn good lawyer.
Question, I think where the gray lives is like, and I don't know what happens. I've only read stories, and I'm skeptical that they're true. But like, if you get in an accident in a driverless car, it locks you in the car, right, until it can deal with, because it can't deal with it. It doesn't. So like, if you get locked in the car, and there's a fire, and the batteries in the electric car catch on fire, like. These are the kind of horror stories that people are telling that don't want the Waymos to like be out there. So that is the scary part. And that's like, okay, what is the burden of care if you get in an accident in a Waymo? Like, if nothing happens to me, can I just get out of the car and walk away? Because like, I didn't crash it. I'm not hurt. I have nothing to do with the other party.
I'm not operating it.
I'm not doing nothing. I was just
you may be a witness.
I am a witness,
and you may have duty.
And there. You got my credit card. You know who I am. I ordered the Waymo off my phone, so you can call me later.
You can't leave a scene of an accident now where there was damage to an individual or a vehicle without exchanging information. I wouldn't get up and just walk out of the thing. I would make sure you had a.
Well, all of this started as an AI conversation, but go ahead.
What's my burden in an Uber?
I would think similarly, right? I don't think you can walk. I think
I think people run away from Uber accidents.
But
That's what I think
you owe it to
they run.
You owe it to society to provide your.
I wasn't in that
information as a
car.
witness.
You can't prove
You
it.
don't know. I got out 2 blocks ago.
Well, we're having an AI conversation because I'm involved in this, but this is just one small little example of a million different things. And AI has written commercials for me this year. Thank you, AI. It has given me business plans, but I am using it as a Google search engine. I'm not really using AI to automate my WordPress and update my website and run my Webflow and handle my billing, but I could. And in the last month, a lot of businesses have decided to do that, and that's going to affect employment here. As we have employment numbers this week that are huge, AI is the buzzword of next year for sure, above and beyond whatever fascism's trying to run the country right now.
All it does is tell me that I need to watch Yellowstone and make me listen to Fugazi's Waiting Room, which isn't a bad
Why are you
song.
trying to be a bury your head in the sand guy
I'm not.
with this?
It's just like all it does is get on my nerves. What AI really is what Bill said it was, which is it's conglomerating our data and micro-targeting us with
Were
advertising.
you the guy that was never going to get on the internet, like in
No,
the beginning?
no.
Were you the guy that was never going to have you were going to have a flip phone?
I'm not
you
a
still got your
dinosaur.
Do you
BlackBerry?
have a flip phone? You
I
might,
know,
you
I
might
got
have
a
a flip
landline.
phone.
I have an iPhone.
Okay,
I
all right,
utilize
all right, that's good.
Can I give you a dime and
technology.
make a payphone call over there? What's wrong
I'm
with
just
you?
a big yawn on it all. I mean, I don't know.
It's a good thing that I have a forward thinker like Bill Cole here who knew about solar,
I
who started
feel
thinking
AI
about the future
when it's
a little
trying
bit.
to micro advertise to me. That's when I experience it. As a consumer, my experience with the technology is it making money off of who I am and the independent decisions that I'm trying to make.
You sound like a college basketball player the last 100 years, right? Till
Where's
recently.
my money? Yeah, hell yeah.
Taking
Give me that
advantage of
NIL.
me.
I was enter your phone number at the grocery store. I'm a mess with them. I keep multiple phone numbers. I don't, where possible, enter my phone number if I know I'm not going to get
you
a
have
discount.
a burner account at the Giant or the Wise?
I just like that. You say that people like throwing the cones.
You
on
don't
the
want them
thing.
to know what you're buying in the grocery
There's
store.
a basic human instinct to just say to technology, screw
I buy
you.
a lot of
I'm
ice
here to
cream,
fight.
and then they give me ice cream coupons.
Right.
For that, I am grateful.
He has,
he
has a lot of like Grateful Dead, just like resist the system, like free float.
Oh, the
like he has a
man.
lot of
It's
that.
the
in
man.
It is the man. It's the man.
I don't like the man.
Right.
And now the man
he
is a
anti-man.
computer.
He is
No
anti
way.
The
Yeah.
man might be Elon Musk with your data from 8
He
months
is.
ago.
He's having a ball. Right?
I think I would say my thing with AI right now
Trillionaire.
is I
Nazi salute. Trillionaire. Done.
right.
How's that?
Who
How
knew
is
how
that?
easy
How's
that
that
was
for
gonna
That
your
is pretty
karma?
cra- yeah, that
right?
is
Like,
pretty
hey, no problem. You want $1 trillion?
Trillion
on
dollars.
live television?
How do you
Nazi
do the math
saluting?
for that? How do you do the math? Then and
It's-
the board got together and were like, well, that makes sense.
$1
$1 trillion, no
$1
problem.
trillion feels like a little bit more than $1 million, and feels like a little bit more than a trillion, billion, million feels like 3 steps in an ABC.
I love how
and
the
it's
lawyers
nothing
banging
close
on my
to that.
table with
Not even-
all my equipment.
Not even close to that.
Bang on the
Not
table.
even
Bill
close.
Blondell taught me
Yes.
that.
Sal Palantonio banged on the table at the Super Bowl about 5 years ago, for Joe Flacco. He was making the case, and everything went flying. He went, I think Joe Flacco, bang, and everything was that was the end of the segment. We were off the air. That was the end.
All right, no more banging on the table.
Right.
But
You could have just
get these
said
damn
that. but-
computers away. You know what happened this week?
Todd Schuler is here. Bill Cole is here. What happened this week?
Tell them what happened.
What you know what happened?
I don't know what
What
happened.
happened?
What happened?
The Maryvale Lions made a jump from B conference to A conference and took out the Maryvale Magic in penalty kicks in their first
Mercy,
year.
yes.
The Mercy
Magic.
Magic.
Right.
In their first year in the A conference.
I remember. I'm so old with Mercy. I remember when they were the sharpshooters.
Just to clarify, this is soccer that we're talking about.
You know what else happened? Baltimore Polytechnic took out City College for the first time since 2011. That's 14 years.
I remember when the City Poly thing didn't happen this time of year. Remember that?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I always went to Calvert Hall Loyola.
Well,
as
no,
a
it
kid.
is. It is not happening when it's supposed to because they don't
Yeah,
let
but
it
it used
anymore.
to happen.
It used to happen
Calvert
on
Hall Loyola
Thanksgiving
used
Day.
to be the
they were
tune-up game.
Well, thank
Right.
God we have traditions like Pizza John's here. We can all get together and do
Yeah.
things that we used to do the way we used to do them, the way we like to do them.
Yeah.
Right. But AI is not going to change that.
Right, but just in case you missed it, what Todd was saying is that Maryvale girls soccer went from the B conference to the A conference and then went out and won the championship. Like Yeah, there you go.
I'm
Okay, I was just
applauding.
trying to- I was trying to
Gotta
get
love those
something.
Lions.
I was just trying to get something there.
That's exactly what I said.
Right.
How's your kids doing at school? You want to give me a little
They're
update
good.
on
No,
that?
they love it. It's basketball season, man. I've been in the gym for 3 days. Like, let's go.
All of these parental
It's time
touch-
to go.
Luke's like Uncle Luke. He's waiting in the wings. Grandpa Rasig was off. He couldn't be my co-host because he got grand twins in Brooklyn, of all places. He's eating good pizza up there. So people with kids and stuff, there is an immersion level of like, Maryvale is more important than anything that happened in your life this week.
100%. Sports are so huge. I was at St. Paul's BL. Just happened to go to that football game at Halloween. There's grown men who don't have sons on the team, who don't have sons, and they're there at their school rooting it on, right? Like it's bananas. The next time Mercy gets a bite at Maryvale to get a little bit of revenge, Coach Bill Cole's going to be sitting on the court at the Maryvale Mercy Classic in January.
Yeah.
And Coach Bill's going to be sitting there.
It's I think what it is it's the web of your community that, you know, the Ravens, we've resented how much money they make and the behavior that they have, and
I
the
paid
crazy
$100 last
stuff
week
that
to
goes
breathe their
on.
air, and they didn't even
Right.
speak to me.
Correct,
Literally.
and the price you got to
Literally.
pay for a beer and like all that. Like when you go to a high school sporting event, it's just the way it's supposed to be.
There's more pure.
It's
Yeah.
just the way
Yeah.
it's supposed to
Okay.
be.
It's
right?
also awful at times. Like
Whoa,
sports can
yeah.
be
So what are you tell me what you're doing? Hey, fill everybody in on your coaching and
I
your
coach-
immersion and your involvement in this.
I coach JV and varsity basketball at Maryvale. Yeah.
Time commitment, girls, right? Boys.
Maryvale only has girls.
Girls.
So yes,
It's time
100%.
commitment. Give me the whole deal.
I mean, it's every day. It's my afternoon and evening.
Do you have to cut kids?
and We did.
All right, so I'm just
We
like
did.
I'm just thinking of the perils of the job here. I mean,
Actually, I don't know if we did, but like
I coach one basketball team
That's
in my life.
complicated.
Pino Ranson, and 8 o'clock in the morning over at Golden Ring. But it wasn't like my kid. It was my buddy who wanted to do it. I think it's a different thing when your kids are involved, your schools are involved, your alma mater. If I coached at Dundalk, it would mean more, no offense, than coaching at Kenwood.
But it would.
It just would.
It would.
It
Right.
wouldn't mean the same to me.
But like we're a whole generation of crazy parents that spend thousands of dollars loading their kids into these travel soccer and travel volleyball and all these sports. Like there's what's seeing kids play sports is like what we're like programmed to do. And therefore, I think there's an incredible market. I think the Baltimore Sun losing the box scores in the high school, the Cleveland Plain Dealer to this day, when I go home and see my in-laws, they have all the high school sports section that the Sun used to be. And like if you want to sell a newspaper, you got to have that local sports touch to it. And it still feels so cool and
You
authentic
think it's
in
possible to
Cleveland.
sell a newspaper?
I do. And I think if I was like
this
a
is the
Baltimore
guy. Remember what he just said about
I'm going
AI,
AI
too. Right?
model.
He just remember what he just said about AI. So let's just
And I got
frame
Fred
this.
Flintstone here,
Let's
you
frame
know,
it.
carving
Right.
out the newspaper with a chisel.
If
you know,
I was a
on
local
stone.
media mogul, I'd
he
be
was.
all in on local sports, on kids sports. I'd know that Coach Jack Stewart.
If he
and the
only knew how
JV
dumb an
Calvin Hall
idea this
Cardinals
is
just
and how
beat
many
Loyola.
meetings I sat in the last 35. You know I covered high school sports, right? Do
I
you know
know.
this is not a business model? This really
I
isn't.
would caution you to what I just said about this whole
I bring
generation
Gary
of parents.
Adornato over here, and he'll tell me it's a business model. I would tell him it's a tough one.
Why
That's
don't
what
you
I would
let
tell him.
AI harvest some scores and some rankings for you and just pop them on the old Baltimore Positive website so that the sports-loving eyeballs get there and learn all the awesome stuff that you and I have
Just
to
give me
say about the
ideas, and
president.
Well, I
you're Mr.
would-
AI.
and I-
He
and
doesn't
I-
know how possible that is.
I would just say to his point, to both your points, right? So I know you've tried over the years. I know you love local sports, and if there was a way to have a sustainable business model around
I'll give you an example.
high school sports,
and I'm not being disrespectful.
you'd have
Last
found it.
night, I went to dinner at the Beaumont, and I ran into Larry Stewart, who's done my show at the Beaumont. Larry hangs at the Beaumont. It's his place. It's my place. I'm Coppin State sponsored. I love Coppin State. I'm all about that. Whoever did that basketball game on Monday night, the Hall of Fame, I kept saying, who did? He said the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame does these around the country, and they bring local. They didn't call me. They didn't email me. I didn't get a text. I didn't get a tweet. I'm the sports guy. If they're not texting me or the fan, who are they hitting? There was nobody at the game. I mean, if you saw any of the pictures, Maryland played, Coppin played. I mean, local schools played. All 4 teams had their thing, and there's nobody there. And I'm thinking to myself, there's your problem, dude. I would hold that up and say that's not a business model.
I'm not sure they believe that anybody will care. I'm not sure that if they got you a press release that you'd run with it.
Other than Bob Haney himself, I am responsible for more words, more verbiage, and more love for Maryland sports over the last 35 years. I'm in second place, right? But no one cares. When they won the national championship 24 years ago, I went down to City Hall to see the parade. There are more people in Pizza John's right now than there were at that parade with Juan Dixon. So I hear you, and I wish sports were what it is in New York or Boston or Chicago or what. I've been doing this 35 years. I know where the money is, and I know where it isn't. And the eyeballs, high school sports, I love your passion for it. I haven't seen the business model for it.
It's not just my passion. If you could have been with those Boys Latin graduates, not dads.
But they don't care about Glenelg. They don't care about Arundel. That's
hold
the
on.
problem.
Milford Mill is undefeated right now. I'd love to know how.
There was no way to do a sports
back?
radio show, and I tried for years on this radio station. It was my dream in 1998 to blow up local sports. I mean, Pressbox put a whole thing out trying to get the rich schools to give them money, basically, which is the only business model there is. Let's get money from Gilman. Let's get money from Calvert Hall. Like that literally was the business model, right? But I would.
The world is changing, so you got to listen to what's being said. You say the business model didn't work. Fine. Then he said use AI, which is a great idea. So if there's a very low-cost way to produce content that would then drive traffic, all of a sudden you've got the beginning of something.
Part, let me just try to explain it to you how I know it 30 years. 1998, if I was going to do a radio show about prep sports, which I tried to do all the time, you want to hear about St. Paul's. You might want to hear about Calvert Hall. But the amount of people interested in just City Poly or Calvert Hall Loyola or whatever the Curly Calvert Hall rivalry or whatever girls, Mercy and IND had it forever, right?
Yes.
Forever.
There's a whole story there. You got to tell it.
There. I know that.
And at the last chapter of that book is Bill Cole.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm going to tell you that just sitting here listening, this is possible, but I'm not going to give it away.
Oh, you have the model.
To millions of people listening right now. Like, it's possible.
You've got the
I got to figure it out.
But the AB up here.
Yeah, I got to figure it out for you. But I'm not going to give it away right now because the AI thing is interesting. What you just said about wanting to talk to, the St. Paul's guy wants to hear the St. Paul story, and the BL guy wants to hear the BL story, and they're not going to listen to the same. I got it. It's fine. Let's move on.
Billy
Pick a
different
topic.
Let's move on to this.
Pick a different
because
topic.
Last week I mentioned that I breathed the same rarefied air as Sashi Brown and Katie Griggs. I was in the same room with them. The interesting part is they didn't meet anybody. They left. And when they left, the second panel was really much more compelling than anything either one of them, corporate nonsense they were saying. The NIL panel involved Dina Freeman from Morgan State and Steve Eigenbrot from Towson. A certain seafood purveyor from Dundalk, who I'm not going to talk about, was on the panel about sponsoring kids, NIL, local marketing money, how Pizza John's could find an Essex Community College special basketball player, soccer player, whatever it is, and their social stream would sell more pizza than I do being here for them from a marketing standpoint. Or they just feel so strongly about the school and they're wealthy like Steve Bisciotti and they just want to get Maryland. I mean, the state of college sports, you guys are talking high school, you're talking about 13-month-a-year soccer girls and soccer boys trying to get money for college and all of that, playing club, not having multi-sport athletes in this generation at all. The college part of that, I just went through the four biggest local teams playing basketball to kick off a year in downtown Baltimore in a beautiful arena at a fair price, and they couldn't get people there. The college part of this is so fractured that when I sit in rooms, it makes my mind boggle more than AI does into how are college athletics going to survive, thrive, create interest across 30 sports in Penn State or at Maryland, and the funding part of whether this is education or not when we have coaches getting $60 million to leave their state schools. It's mind-boggling because it's not education anymore, and I'm not sure it's really sports. It's a marketing come on at Alabama and at Miami and at Penn State or whatever, and it's lost its way. But I don't know what that's going to mean to daughters who are swimmers or really pretty girls at LSU who can get money from a shoe company because they're just beautiful and they play tennis or whatever they do. But we're in a different world of marketing. For college sports will never, ever, ever be what we fell in love with it for. It's going to have to be something different.
I'm 6 weeks removed from watching Virginia Tech run out of the tunnel to Metallica's Enter Sandman in a forgettable 3-6 season. And it was way cooler than riding around in a car without a driver. I can tell you that. It was a monster. It was a crazy experience. It's like, I'm going to go. This is how my kids are going to tour colleges. We're just going to football games. I want to go check out. I was at West Virginia.
Every person I know that's our age, that as a kid that age, their kid goes to Alabama, South Carolina,
Definitely.
Ole Miss, and the
They're all
whole
in the
deal
SEC.
is their parents are there getting hammered in the parking lot.
Yes.
And if it's going to cost you $150,000 to send your kid to school for 4 years, am I being generous or am I being? That's about right.
I think it's going to be worse.
I don't want to
More
sound
than
like
that.
Trump.
It's more than that.
See, I don't want to
More
sound
than that.
stupid. All right, $200,000. I mean, Enoch every weekend at Alabama. My friend Shannon, kids go to Alabama. Pete and everybody I know, South Carolina. You know, somebody I had a kid at Ole Miss the other day, and I'm like, how the hell did your kid get to Ole Miss? I don't know. Where are your kids going?
I don't know.
Maryville.
Yeah, right. I don't know. I mean, look, the SEC is inviting to everyone in this region, right? Like, go south. Like, who says to their kid, would you like to go cold? You know, like some do, but they go Big Ten, right? And then they're the ones you really lose because they go to Michigan, they go to Indiana, and then they end up in Chicago for the rest of their life because that's where you go after you leave those schools, and they never come back to Baltimore. So at least I think
the Southern kids come home for the
come
work.
back.
See, I don't want to talk about college sports, but both of you at this tender age with sons, daughters, and whatnot, you have this fear of losing your children all of a sudden, that your college choice should be some awful redneckia place that's so terrible that they only want to go back on weekends, that they would come back to Baltimore and make a life here.
That wasn't about my
kids.
kids. No, that wasn't about my kids.
He's talking about the brain drain
That's
of
just
it all.
that's just generally like part of the problem with our civic, situation is that some percentage of our kids leave and go to the Midwest and don't come back because Chicago's pretty cool, right? It's the other
Nobody
percentage.
comes back from New
I
York
work in
City.
Chicago.
I mean,
You
like,
can have Chicago.
We do a
Nobody comes back
relatively
from
decent
Philadelphia.
job. We do but you got to think about it. If you're a 20-something in Chicago, it's pretty nice. But we do a reasonably good job of attracting Northeasterners to come down to the Loyolas and the Marylands and the Hopkins, and then we hold on.
I never met
we
a
hold
girl
on
in
to
Towson
some
or
of
Lowell that
them.
wasn't from Jersey.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's fine.
exactly.
That's
Yeah,
true.
Bill's
I
point.
never met a girl at
Bill's
College Park
point.
that wasn't from New York.
Yep.
Period.
And that's
I never understood it.
That's their version, right, of us going to South Carolina or Clemson or Alabama or what. I mean, it's the same kind of
But
thing.
you come back from Clemson. If you go to Philadelphia for the first time
No
and
one's
see
gonna
what
live in
a
Clemson. You
city
go to
looks
Clemson,
like
you
with
come
actual
home.
public transportation, you're like, I'm never leaving
Clemson,
here.
it's a good place to get drunk and fish, and then you come home.
Exactly.
Now, my mother's from that part of the world. But I do think the more of us I know, and my kid lives 2 miles from here, and your kid might live in Alabama, and you might see him more, like literally, right? But for me, like losing your child on a college tour. Everyone I know has taken their kid. My buddy John's his daughter's in Miami. His other daughter's running around. They're all of this age. And their biggest fear is my daughter's going to go to Miami and she's just done with Columbia, Maryland, and it's over with.
Yeah.
And she's never coming home. And that's why mommy's bawling her eyes out when she's packing the bag up in September, because you feel like this could be over. If they choose college, they pick a place they really like, they're not coming back.
Bill's bigger concern is the sustainability of this beltway, which is still missing a hunk over the water right down the road.
And I got
here.
stuck in traffic
Right.
last night because of that. Took me an hour to get to Catonsville.
Yeah, just to try and bring back the original question. So, college sports is really complex right now because we've done such a good job of raising the price of college, right? It's totally crazy, and it's all about the experience. Well, that creates all this pressure on these average to above average athletes who are being told that they could get a college scholarship. And everybody knew, college scholarship. I mean, that's $80,000 my parents.
Even if it's Shippensburg,
right.
even if it's it doesn't matter where it is.
So
right?
the whole youth sports universe feeds on that.
Oh, I know this.
Right? And they're trying to make a living on that because Susie might be good enough to go D1 and get some money. And so now she's
and there's more money for
playing
girls.
soccer. Right. She's playing soccer,
Yeah.
to your point, 12 months out of the year and can't do anything else. You're not allowed to go away for vacation. You're not, and it just feeds itself. And then when they do get that money, that is life-changing to a certain degree, right? Like if the 6 other girls in their circle get $300,000 worth of college debt when they're leaving, and the one who got to play on a D2 school playing soccer but got it paid for, like their trajectories when they walk out the door at the end of the 4 years is massively different. Massively different.
My cousin, my female cousin, who's probably about 44 now, she was a serious tennis player in San Diego. I mean, she played with Julius Erving's daughter, and she played with a girl that went to the 8 in the U.S. Open. She had good friends, played club tennis in San Diego. Not easy to do. She got a scholarship at Arizona, and she went for 4 years, and it was completely her meal ticket. She's like, the minute she put the racket down when she was 23, I don't think she's picked it up in 20 years. Like, literally. Not her daughters, no one. She's done. Because it was 25 years ago, it wrecked her hip. She had to have surgery. Just all of that, right? And I feel like there's a part of it that I still loved sports because I didn't – I'm not from a radio standpoint, but from a playing it, I never had to immerse and make it my meal ticket in that way. Whereas if you're a 16-year-old girl, you feel like – I'm letting daddy off the hook for $200,000 or I'm not, or if I rip my knee up in senior year or whatever. I mean, that's a kind of pressure that we didn't feel when we were in high school.
Agassi,
Dude.
yeah.
That wasn't the way it was in Dundalk.
I mean, look, there is something to be said for a kid who puts in the dedication, does the work, makes the team, goes off to school, plays college sports. Like the sacrifice that you make from your college experience to be a college athlete says a lot about who you are and how you're going to be when you leave college. Like, I can juggle my time. I'm willing to sacrifice partying because I want this greater good over here. You know what I mean? So that says a lot about their character. But I think the bigger issue that I have is the lack of education for parents around all of that. Like nobody's given, there's no incentive for the parents who have been scorned, right, or the ones who missed the mark or didn't, is Susie really going to make it, or am I just getting a bunch of stuff? And then the difference is, we talk a lot about this as basketball people, like the number of scholarships that are available for women's basketball players versus the number of scholarships that are available for women's soccer players or women lacrosse players. Like, they're much bigger teams. But think about how our universe works. How much money do you think they get? Do they get the same? You think they get different than basketball? There's only 12, 15 girls on the basketball team. There's 35. There's 40 girls on the lacrosse team. So, like, how many full scholarships are actually being given to girls in lacrosse? But
so you're in a different point. You're talking scholarships. The world's talking NIL. The world's talking, how does the girl playing lacrosse at Stevenson get a sub shop down the street to give her $500 a month to
even better than
like
that,
like
even
a
better
salary.
Than that, right? Even better than that is the girl at St. Paul's. Why doesn't she get $500? Because she's driving all the girls at St. Paul's to go to the Jamba Juice or whatever that place is right down the street, and they're literally making their living on this school. So I don't think there's any rules that prevent high school kids from getting NIL money. Like, you don't lose your eligibility. Like, there's no issue. And that's an even smaller community where one really influential kid drives the traffic of that whole circle.
John Carroll gets a kid that can play basketball, and everybody in Bel Air wants to chip in $500.
Right.
Literally.
Definitely.
Right.
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 Todd Schuler's here. Bill Cole's here. Just to reset on radio. We're Pizza John's. All brought to you by our friends at the Maryland Lottery. Luke and Resiger coming up next. We took a deep dive off the AI boat into college athletics, and we never even got to the AI thing, which was me learning about it and being excited about it.
I feel like that was me that jumped out in front of that electric car and tried to derail it.
Yeah, you did. You did. It's okay. My only statement on that was that I feel every day that goes by that I'm falling farther behind.
And you are.
Right.
Him.
That's what scares me.
Dude,
Every day that goes by, I'm glad I'm still alive.
This is going to be this videotape. I'm going to bring it back later on. It's going to be like when they had, was it Matt Lauer and Katie, whatever her name was, with what is the internet? Or it was Brian Gumble.
Yeah.
What is the internet?
Right.
You know?
Yep.
What is AI? I'm not touching that AI. Can't touch that.
Give me my flip phone back.
Right. How dare we embrace progress? We're not going to do that around here.
Now, I left my smartphone in the car, and I'm feeling that
Don't you
panic.
feel nice?
I
And
can see my car out the window.
And that's not entirely
of Pizza
fair because he's playing old crotchety guy right now, but once he
He's
adopts
middle-aged
it,
crotchety
once
guy.
he adopts it,
Gray-haired crotchety.
he's like,
Gray-haired,
you
yeah.
know, what would he do? How would he post all the time
You're
on
a smart
Facebook
guy.
if he didn't have an iPhone? So I'm not trying to, once
It's like
he
Moonstar. Snap out of it. Snap
how
out
much
of it.
Don't fall in love with it.
How much
Relax.
do you
It's
love?
a tool.
How much do you love Spotify?
It's a fad. It's a fad.
I love Spotify, but it pisses me off that I got to hear Fugazi's Waiting Room. And before that, it was remember the Hawaiian dude that sang Somewhere Over the Rainbow?
What? What's wrong with you?
Every time my playlist runs out, it goes to the same song.
Well, pick a better song.
I don't pick it.
He's
it just
not
tells
picking
Dude, did you
me
get one of those
that it's
iPhones
the
that
fat
played
guy
U2 every
singing
time
Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
you didn't want it to?
Yes.
I had one of those.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
The man is everywhere, Bill.
Right. I'm just saying, once Todd figures out how to use it and it brings value to his world, then he's on board, and he's a very loyal fighter at that point.
I will bore the
Yeah.
stuff out of you the second I'm into it.
Right.
I saw 5 minutes of Charlie Sheen last night. I've told everybody, you got to see Charlie Sheen.
Yeah,
He's
it's a good
crazy.
one.
Well,
It's a
you're
good
on
one.
Spotify, and I
That's a
still
good one.
have an iPod with a cord.
Yes.
So, and I will-
crotchety old
Yeah,
guy. You're a
I
lot
own
older
a
than I
private
am,
court.
man.
You know why? Because this is not a music device. This is a communication device. And it ain't a phone, even though you might think it is.
It's a great jukebox. And if you trade your iPhone in and you could keep the old one and just never have calls interrupt your jukebox, you're in heaven.
Just
Look at
think
that.
about how
Okay.
crazy it would be if we went back in time 20 years ago, and we've all known each other about that long, and I told you, in your hand there's going to be this thing that's going to answer every question. Like, you would have never have believed it. And you would have said, well, the battery must last an hour, right? Like, all those challenges that your mind would have gone through then, and here we are.
Yep.
You know, here we are.
The trade-off, we just dumped democracy instead. It had nothing to do
Well,
with the phone.
I was going to go to the fact that we haven't figured out how to keep the engines on the planes.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
seems like something we should have
We're
solved
missing
by
some
now.
stuff.
But
We're stubbing some
we got
toes.
this. There's a I don't know where I read it or what it was, but it was like our priorities are completely screwed up because if you think about how we spend our money, right? Like we're trying to make chocolate chocolatier. We're trying to make women's bras push up. You know what I mean? Like these are the things that we're spending R&D dollars on as opposed to some of the other things that are out there in the world that we could be solving.
Like, hey, Siri, where's the starting pitching?
Or SNAP benefits, or just little
Or
things like that. for people to eat,
anything.
you know,
I mean,
in the
how do
richest
we
country in
keep
the
it
history of the
going?
world.
I don't really even want to go talk about
We're
that.
so great that we starve our children. It's beautiful.
I don't wanna
Todd
talk about
Schuler
that.
is here. Bill Cole is here. I love them both dearly. Best damn lawyer, damn good
Damn
lawyer.
good lawyer,
Damn good
Doc.
lawyer.
Damn good lawyer. It's not that complicated.
Tell them what you do.
Ness.
Come on. Tell them what
Nail
you do.
that thing.
Hey, workers' comp, car crashes, construction accidents. If you slip and fall, if you are injured, call Blondell, Miller, and Schuler to take care
Soccer
of it.
results, right?
Well, I'm going to be tuning into Baltimore Positive for the local sports flair. I can feel it already. Bill Cole's got ideas.
I just know a good idea from a bad idea, and you had a good idea because solar is a good idea. Tell everybody why.
Well, because electric rates are going up, and it's an investment that has a return, so you can do things to offset some of those costs. I mean, it's an evolving world, right? Like it is very much impacted because we've allowed it as a product to be impacted by regulatory decisions, and currently we're going through a group that doesn't appear to want to make it more readily available. So it's a little bit of a challenge time in the solar world. But at the end of the day, like I just always tell people, and I've told you this a million times, like you should know what it costs. you should be able to see what the returns are, and if it makes sense, you buy it. If it doesn't, you don't. I mean,
Everyone's got a roof.
Yeah. I mean,
The one thing I'll say on
pretty
your
simple.
behalf, I flew home last week from Nashville early in the morning on Friday, and as the plane was descending toward BWI, you see streams, you're like the Severn, hey, is that Pashotti's house? Where am I? Oh, I see the Navy Tower. Oh, there's you see things when you're coming in. As I was coming in getting lower, I saw more solar fields. It felt like Anne Arundel County. That's where I was. And I looked over, I'm like, never would have known that was there. You're driving down New Cut Road or whatever, and maybe off on a farm. You just don't know until you get up above that it is more prevalent. That's all I'm saying. I see it more often from the sky.
Look, the best way to generate electricity is right above where you're using it, so you don't have line loss. That's not debatable. We have all these open roofs that we don't do anything with.
I don't know anything about line loss. I just learned something, I think. I'm going to have to Google that, but go ahead. This is a new concept to
You
me.
can just trust me on that one
Okay,
if you
go
want.
ahead.
You could
All right.
use AI.
Repeat
It'll
it
tell
again
you
so
all
I
about
understand it. The greatest was it right here. What is it?
Some of the electrons go away when it has to travel over far periods, right? Long distances. You lose some electrons. Just happens. I don't
Why
know
tall
why.
guys like me aren't as smart. There's too much line to travel.
Just like losing brain cells when you do drugs?
What?
Right? Yeah, exactly. Right. Kind of like that. Okay.
I don't really know how to give you an analogy. I'm just telling you that this is what I've been told.
It's not a
and
drug,
I
it's a plant.
trusted
I've
it
done the
that it's
research,
true.
All
right.
So we want to generate it right above us. We want to use it right here. Best, most efficient way to do it, right? And we have flat, open roofs that all they do is keep water out. So if there's a cost-effective way to do that, we should figure that out. That's all. Very
Roofing and
simple.
solar for dummies.
Yeah.
Where Sig even
I'm
understands it, but
trying.
he's drawing a cartoon of it over there right now. Todd Schuler is here. Bill Cole is here. I love them both equally. You owe me a mug, dude. I got to get a mug.
I know.
Got to get a mug.
I know. I never think of that when I'm in the
If you got Luke
the place where the mugs are.
a Cole roofing hat, he wouldn't wear it because he's wearing his Peach John's hat all the time.
Okay.
Sort of glued to him right now. So when I invite...
You're off the list. No hat for you.
He didn't even have to go to practice today. They might not let him into the games anymore because he skipped the practice because, that's the way it works. But he decided pizza was more important than the injury list today. So we're getting ready for football. We're getting ready for baseball. Over Sig, Luke, and I are going to have a baseball conversation, a real baseball conversation. It's going to be fun. We're Pizza John's, Luke's favorite place, my favorite place, certainly in Essex, amongst other things. I've already had crinkle-cut French fries, proper gravy. Somebody else got into them over there. I got a small pepperoni and green pepper pizza. That way my wife won't have any of it because she won't eat the green peppers. Get to keep it for myself. And a delicious Cobb salad there. So I'm ready to go. Chef salad.
Yeah, I'm going to go put my order in so I can take some food home and maybe my family will like me more.
Upsize it for me, all
Okay,
right? Take him
yeah.
something good.
Yeah.
Get him a cheesesteak or something like that. I am Nestor. We're Pizza John's. We're doing the Maryland Crab Cake Tour. It is presented by the Maryland Lottery along with our friends at GBMC. I don't want to mix food and duty, but my colonoscopy is 2 weeks from Friday. I will not be doing the Crab Cake Tour on the 21st, but I will be doing my duty, getting the PSA, doing all the important things, hopefully getting the clean bill of health so that I can get on with the remainder of the offseason. How about that?
There's so many.
D-U-T-Y or D-O-O-T-Y? I'm having a hard time with your mixed metaphors.
That was so good. And I like this whole action he was giving us. It was terrible.
I'm going to go eat pizza. Get rid of these
Really
guys.
fighting us into
I
his
used to have
imagination.
friends in Essex. Stay with us.